Okay. So, Kanna, I thought I made this video a while back, but I guess I didn't. And the reason that I thought I made it was because it's one that I've taken I took this before I've tried a lot of the things that I've talked about on this channel, and it has become one of my favorites too. So, yeah. Um, I don't know how I missed this one, but I realized recently that apparently I didn't. So here's the Kanna video. Alright, so Kanna. It is a plant. I think it's specifically a succulent plant, if you care about that. And I don't even care about that. I don't know. Just sound like a good introduction. But anyway, you don't you don't usually use it in its raw form. What's typically done with Kanna is that it's fermented, and more specifically, you're going to use it in some kind of a standardized extract. They got some good ones. Um, just like with ashwagandha, you have like KSM 66 or sensoril. Um, so with Kanna, you have let's see, we have Zembrin, which is probably the best known, and then this other one here, MT55 is another well-known one. So let's see. I briefly want to just hit on the pharmacology real quick to give you some idea of what it's doing at that level. And well, it's got multiple alkaloids in it that are psychoactive. And we'll just say psychoactive. We'll say pharmacologically active. And let's see, mesembrine and mesombrone are the two main ones, the ones that seem to be the most active and that we understand the most. And what those things do is they act on serotonin transporter, and they are PDE4 inhibitors. And so that serotonin transporter, that's a target of both tricyclic antidepressants and SSRIs. And PDE4 inhibition is a pharmacological mechanism that's being looked at for a lot of different conditions, okay? Some of them psychiatric, some of them not, like asthma, for example, is one of them too. And so yeah, I'm just, I could say a lot more about this, but I am ADD, so if you've seen these videos, it's not going to be pretty if I get off the beaten track. But then there are some other pharmacological aspects of Kanna, and I don't even know like what alkaloids are doing what. But I'll just mention there's some activity at VMAT2, another sort of transporter that's not really a receptor. And then it's an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, and it's some sort of a cannabinoid agonist, but I don't know if it's like CB1 or CB2. But apparently it's some kind of an agonist for cannabinoid receptors as well. All right, so yeah, I just had to sort of mention that. It seems like for completeness, but the bottom line with this, the effects of it, it's probably the most well-known important aspect of it is great for mood. Really great for mood, and some would even say euphoria. When I get in this territory, I do try to always emphasize that when you hear euphoria, you might have hopes of of it being a really recreational sort of hard drug or whatever. Like not even a hard drug, but not just it's not that kind of a drug. Like when I first tried it, I had tried it. Well, I'll get to my experiences with it in a sec, but yeah, I mean, it's basically good for mood, and I'll say euphoria somewhat, and then it's an anxiolytic, and another thing that it's got a reputation for is being sort of like a hallucinogen even, and that's just really not true at all. So, so yeah, those are like the biggest things, and I mean, look at the pharmaceutical aspect of it. You know, the PDE4 inhibition and whatnot. It might be great for a lot of things, but oh yeah, there was. I think it's probably good for. It's supposed to be good. Yeah, well, like appetite something with yeah, I think appetite suppression. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak to that as much because I don't know. I maintain a pretty low body weight anyway. I don't know if it's like because I don't have an let's just say I don't have an overactive appetite, so it's not correcting. And from my perspective, as somebody who doesn't seem to have a problem with, like, it doesn't seem to give you um, more of an appetite reduction. Like I don't have, like, an abnormal appetite or whatever. So uh, maybe for a therapeutic thing, if you wanted to talk to somebody who was like a little bit on the heavier side, see if it could help them with that. I don't know, but like some things, like stimulants will just flat out suppress your appetite. It doesn't matter. Uh, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is it does have some appetite suppressant properties. So anyway, since I've already keep going into this territory, let me just get to my personal experience with it. And my personal experience with it, man, this stuff, I didn't, when I first got it, I tried it recreationally, and that was really, I think, my main reason. I got it from like one of these online ethnobotanical places, and I got some of that mood boost and stuff, but I don't know. I really, I don't know if I was expecting, some kind of illegal high or whatever. Uh, but yeah, I mean, definitely not that, but yeah, it's all right. And I don't know. I've tried it. I guess I guess I used a little since then, and I looked at some point. Okay, so I said earlier on in this channel that I'd been diagnosed with certain things like being on the spectrum, ADHD, and basically when I first really appreciated Kanna was when I stopped and I asked myself the question, what is it in the times of, or is there anything that you can point to in the times in your life when you seem to be more higher functioning socially? What are there any correlates with like things you're doing, things you're taking? And what popped out at me as one of the strongest correlates was Kanna. And so that's when I really started to look into it more, because it wasn't based so much on just this superficial, overly subjective, how do you feel, but like, what is it really doing? Is it actually helping you? And it really was a lot. Like, as I continued to experiment with it and learn more about it, well, I'm talking, yeah, I mean, it's legit. I mean, so when I talk about using it therapeutically, for me, the thing that I probably like the most about it, I mean, the mood's great, but it helps me socially. Um, yeah, and it's very sustainable because it is not something that gives you this overly intrusive subjective feeling. It's kind of low key. It just works in the background. And you do get a nice mood boost from it, but nothing, ridiculous, nothing like a hard drug, nothing that's unsustainable. It's really much more like an antidepressant. And even in this regard, it's probably better than a lot of pharmaceuticals, because a lot of those will make you feel off or overly medicated in some way. And this doesn't make you feel like that. Other than like the mood boost and like what it does for me therapeutically, the subjective feel of it, to the extent that it's there, well, this is going to depend actually specifically on what exact extract you're using, what your the route of administration, ROA. Um, but I do find it to be a little bit stimulating cerebrally, and like energizing. Again, all within the realm of like you know, like a supplement or something that just, nothing ridiculous. Don't look to this like it's some kind of like a party drug or something. Gotta be very, you know, careful, because I think, you know, it is marketed like one of these sort of legal high things a lot. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea, because you're just going to be disappointed, to be honest. But if you come to this with more realistic expectations, you might find that, you know, it's really good for certain things. And I mean, it's probably good as a pick-me-up, even if you don't have like an actual therapeutic reason to be using it. Just sort of like just better expectations, you know. I would say it would be on par with, like, you know, like any herbal tea that you would get from the grocery store or something, you know, in terms of just those subjective effects. But yeah, therapeutically, it has emerged for me as really one of the best, like one of the top 5 things in like treating the things that I struggle with. Okay, so but there was some more stuff I wanted to say about it. It's readily available. You know, I don't advertise for anybody, but like Lift Mode is like really well known. It's kind of like I think there might be, you know, sort of emerging as one of the like the best. But this MT55 extract is what it is. So I mean, you could probably get that at other places, I imagine, or maybe they're the only ones that sell it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I am confused about how these extracts work. Like, you know, I've talked about this before. I don't know if they're like licensed or how that works, but yeah, I mean, you can do your research for brands. This is good stuff. I highly recommend it. And I would like to go into some more detail on the pharmacology of it. I'd have to, you know, really try to study it on my own and get good with it and know what I'm talking about better. But yeah, so, you know, in terms of my experience with it, it gets 2 thumbs up for sure. Both therapeutically and, you know, assuming that, you know, you don't have overly realistic expectations recreationally. Did I say overly realistic? Or did I say? Oh yeah. Anyway, oh man. Okay, that's been enough. I think I've already said everything I need to say in this video. But yeah. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will probably not be able to answer them if you can't find answers yourself, but I will do the best I can. So, thanks, and till next time.